This is the King and Doc podcast. I am your host, one of your hosts, whatever the hell you want to call it, the Blunt Doctor, checking in with my man, King Hooley. What's up, man?
What's the vibe, my boy? What's going on, man? I'm happy to be here, my boy.
This
This
is
something we've been working. We've been talking about this for about like a year.
this is a long time coming. I agree completely.
Yeah.
This is one of those things. It's like in the 70s when rock bands would form super groups, and they're just
Right.
like coming together, and it's like half of the Eagles and half of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
That's
And
crazy
then,
you say that.
yeah, exactly. And
Crazy
then
you
no
say
one
that, 'cause I'm
listens to the
thinking,
music.
I said, this is when Hulk Hogan and Macho Man formed the Mega Powers on, saying,
Okay.
like the WWE back in the day.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about, but I agree completely anyway. So, that's all that matters, This is like when Nas and Dr. Dre teamed up to form The Firm. And again,
Okay.
no one listened to it, but that's okay because it's still great. It's still one of the greatest albums. That's what matters.
Absolutely.
That's what matters. So I'm all about the greatness, not about the how other people view it or how many people view it. Because if I were about those things, it'd be sad. You see my Disney cup here.
Oh,
We're
right.
gonna get sued. My Disney princess cup. We're gonna get sued to a
The first
motherfucker.
episode. That's what I'm talking about.
We're gonna
Already.
get shut down by YouTube immediately.
Causing
That's what's up.
problems, man. Causing
We got
problems.
Michael Jordan in the background. He approves. So, like, what
Yeah,
are we talking about here?
I mean, the goat's there, so
The goat's
sense.
there. I'm a fat Greek dude rocking pinky rings. This is the
not
show.
Halloween. Home Alone.
There you go.
Let me cut
Yeah,
out
it
Home
is. It's literally the same one.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
dope.
I think I could survive if I was home alone. I'm 38 years old. I think I could take on a couple of intruders, string up some paint cans. I learned a lot from that movie. I think I could do it. That's a really important thing in my life.
100% is easy to do that. I remember being like, when that movie came out, like, hoping my mom would come. So like, I'm gonna go over here and then like hopefully get some burglars to come to my house and break in and I'll have everything strung up. But I lived in an apartment, so I didn't know how that was gonna work.
Yeah, you're like dreaming of a home invasion. You're like, I got these. I got these MFs so much. That's the idiocy of being a child. You're like, when I'm an adult, I'm gonna fight off. Yeah. Like I'm gonna fight off so many home invasions. It's like, no, you're gonna pay taxes. This is what you're gonna do. Is you're gonna pay taxes.
Scarier. Yeah, paying taxes.
It's more frightening. I'd rather have a home invasion.
Oh yeah. Well, my 10-year-old vision of what a home invasion was. I'd rather have that.
See, that's fair. When we get this show to its maximum, we'll have a live poll pop up that says, would you rather pay taxes or fight off a home invasion? And then we'll see what the people say. We'll let the world decide.
Let the world decide. Hey, as a matter of fact, this will be up on YouTube. Would you rather pay taxes or take a home invasion, the 10-year-old style home invasion? Drop it in the comments below. Let us know.
That's a real. I think that's a legitimate question.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you have to be a 10-year-old, because 10-year-old me was a dumbass. So I don't know that. I'm only able to do it now that I'm 38. So I don't know. I'm 38 and I look 50. So what are you gonna do?
I don't know. I think I could have handled it. 10-year-old me.
I believe that. You call yourself the king, so I think that you should be able to handle it. I'm just gonna say I would be disappointed if I ever get a time machine, and this should probably be the last comment on this subject because this is the worst way to open a podcast. I'm going back in time and I'm setting up a home invasion at 10-year-old Hooley's house with two morons.
It's an apartment, first off, okay? And my apartment was in the hood, so good luck getting there. All right.
I'll hire two white guys to do it, and you'll get near your house and be like, "Fuck this! I'm not even going there." Yo.
I'm not even going. He wins. I'll be like this. Bye.
I believe it.
Yeah, man. So we're here with this is the King and Doc podcast. I'm King Hooley. Blunt Doctor, my homeboy is here. So we're gonna get started tonight. First, before we do that, we want to shout out the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network for allowing us to put on this podcast for you guys and prove that they're more than just a sports network. This is the entertainment side.
Absolutely.
This is what we do over here too.
Absolutely. This is very exciting. Big shout out to Elite Sports Entertainment Network for letting us put this on. This is something that, again, we've been talking about for a long time. We take seriously. We joke. We have a good time, but there's a lot of good stuff to talk about. We're excited to do this for sure.
Absolutely. So a little bit about the show, how we do it. We're kind of I guess you would say like a fishbowl style podcast. We take, which eventually will be more viewers once we get more people to listen to the show, to chime in and give us some feedback. We take your opinions, take your questions, and then we just try to answer them on live. But we didn't have anybody, so we kind of bounced a couple questions off each other. The first one that came up was, do you like how the NIL has changed college football? I'll let you let you go first on that one.
Yeah. I mean, I do. Honestly, I think that, and I understand that for a lot of people, the amount of portal changes whiplash because it truly has become free agency, which it's funny because the most popular part of any sports season, any professional sports season, is free agency. Everybody loves players trading, teams signing new contracts. Those are the most popular podcasts. People love it. But for some reason, when it comes to college football, it upsets everyone. I just think that this was one of those things that was inevitable. It was always going to come. Maybe it's not set up perfectly right now with, a billionaire can just come in and purchase a player for a school. I understand that people don't love that system. And, there are potentially ways to fix it, maybe ways that it can be improved. But there was no situation in which young men not being paid for their labor and giving up some of the best years of their lives to backbreaking injuries was ever a good idea when they were not being paid for any of those things. And so they should be paid. We know this. And I think we've reached a point where it's just a matter of how to do it. And again, if everyone doesn't like the current system and there needs to be a salary cap in place, I mean, fine. Colleges are hiring GMs, put a salary cap in place. Do whatever the hell you want. I don't care. I understand all those concepts. But the idea that these kids shouldn't be paid, especially when their coaches are making, millions of dollars as state employees, it's absolutely ludicrous. So I am happy. And if people say that there need to be tweaks, fine. But I love that it's happened. What about you?
Oh, man, absolutely, dude. I've always been an advocate about, getting these players paid for the simple fact that these guys going to come from the backgrounds they come from, and even getting to colleges for a lot of people, what I'm saying, this is a big deal. Getting there to play playing football, doing something you love is even cooler, what I'm saying, because that's something we always we grew up wanting to do, become football players or doctors or lawyers or whatever. But of course, you can use that platform, for football to get other things, because you can't play football forever, right? The issue was, like, before they were playing these players were able to get money off their name, likeness, and an image and whatnot. They would just have these scholarships and had these stipends that barely kept them afloat, and that's why you saw a lot of these players turn to crime to get, to get money. But so now they're getting legit, so now they're getting legitimate money. But before, you saw these players turn to crime. Like, I look at the 2008 Florida Gators. You remember how many of them kids went to, scholarship kids who were really good at football. Most of them ended up in the NFL, but a lot of them had issues with crime. Aaron Hernandez being one of them. You know what I'm
saying? Real talk on that one.
It's just it's this thing is deeper than what that is. Saying, in my opinion. But these schools make millions and millions of dollars on the backs of these athletes, and you turn around and say, well, hey, you get a free education, and I'm gonna say education. It's free, but you get a free education right here. And they spit them out. Like, half of them won't make it to the league, and if they go to the league, they're not there for 2 or 3 years. Then they're back in their neighborhoods doing crimes again. You know what I'm saying? And doing this stuff. So I'm happy that it gives the power back to the player, and not necessarily to the universities who've been making. It's almost like modern day slavery. It's crazy. You think about it.
I mean, well, and the other thing I will say that draws that parallel is, and this is a thing I talked about on my podcast, is the fact that the prison system was put in place to replace slavery, right? Like, you can draw those parallels because the United States lost a free source of labor, which was slaves. And so they had to create a new one. And so that was essentially imprisoning Black people. And Ta-Nehisi Coates, I hope I'm not pronouncing his name wrong. He wrote Black Panther, but he also wrote this incredible whole article about, and he basically drew those lines. And what happened from there is, of course, then that's where the seeds of amateurism come from. This idea that people don't actually deserve money from their labor, that comes from slavery. Like, it's not from anywhere else. Like, there's no other place in history where people were like, well, you should be working for free, aside from like volunteering, and that's something you do in your free time as a hobby. Like,
right. Yeah.
These were slaves. And you make a good point. I can't remember the kid's name, but there was a quarterback from Oregon. It was like 06, 07, who like was trending towards the NFL, and then they stole a bunch of laptops and he ended up having to transfer and his career fell off. But like, that was a kid who was trending towards potentially millions of dollars. Yeah. And it's just came up,
he was great. He was really good too.
Yeah. I mean, and so it's one of those things where, I understand for people who like grew up like believing that amateurism is a good thing. I understand that it's like hard for them to understand the concept that it's actually just theft. But when you're making billions of dollars, like you said, off the backs of the labor of others, I don't understand how anyone can say, well, they don't deserve money. Again, stipends, college, whatever, that's what you're giving them to come to your school. Right. That's the attraction. You want them at your school. You're giving them a free education. They still need to be paid for their work. And I think that's what people are always missing. It's like, you want them to represent your school. So you're giving them a free ride. But that's not paying them for football. Those are completely different things. And I think that people just have always missed that point. And now we're at a point where, I mean, these guys have, like you said, they have the power now. Because I can decommit. I can, someone else pays me more money. I can do what I want. Yeah, I do whatever I want.
That's more into like the transfer portal too, man. Because like that gets, when you throw that wrench in there, that gets even crazier.
Yeah, but you know what? Hey, it's good because there will be situations where it's like, hey, I can go to X school, which is a big school, but I'm only going to get paid $20,000 because I'm third string. Or I could go to this mid-tier school that's going to pay me $100K because they're going to give me most of their money because they want me to start. And you're going to start to see this happen. And the talent will spread out. Especially because, some
that's
schools
what I like the most
rich.
about it right there. That talent that's spread out. Like, look what it's done to programs like Clemson. Alabama is another one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's done that to those programs. And people hate it. Well, most of their fans, but it's good for it's really in the long haul. It's good for college football. You get to see other teams.
There's no way that every single year being Alabama and Georgia in the championship because every single recruit goes there is a good idea. And this playoff has proven that the NIL is good because we've already had so many upsets that you wouldn't have expected. That, I mean, it's basically proven that the playoff is a good thing. I know the first round kind of sucked, but again, that will change over time. You will eventually have the 12th school that can hang with one of the higher schools because the talent will disperse because guys are not going to want to sit for years anymore. They don't have to. You can go somewhere else and play and be paid.
And build your stock, and build your stock until you get going into the league. Yes.
And there's plenty of schools that have garbage football programs, but still have billionaire, people who can pay a lot of money to build those programs up. So you're going to see that stuff's going to happen. And there's going to be schools that come out of nowhere like Indiana did this year. They did more because of the transfer portal necessarily than just NIL itself. But you're going to see schools come out of nowhere that they're going to hire a coach that knows how to recruit. They're going to have a bunch of money. They're going to transfer a bunch of dudes. You're going to be like, what the hell, Texas State? And all of a sudden they're going to be – that stuff's going to happen. And that's interesting. It's fun.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to see the same teams every year, right? We want to see different.
No, not every year. I mean, so no longer can Alabama or Georgia or, like I say, Clemson or any of these big schools stockpile talent. Because that's basically, exactly what they did. You get these people that just sit, they get there and they sit on the bench for dumb long, and then, they get their chance.
Never understood it.
Yeah. I'm like, no, that makes no sense. Like, why would I want to sit here?
And the other thing about it is that in this world, when you do build a dynasty, when someone does eventually go back to back in national championships, that will be fucking impressive because in this environment, to be able to do that is insane. And so eventually someone is going to build a dynasty that will be unlike anything we've ever seen in this era. and that's going to be one of the greatest teams of all time, and that would be very cool to see.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I don't think there's a single downside to NIL. I can't think of a single thing about it that's bad.
Neither can I. I don't understand. It's just these theorists, in my opinion. They just stuck on it's got to be tradition.
Yeah,
and I mean, you know what I'm saying?
It makes my dad angry. You know, he's like, I can't watch college football these days with the kids. You know, it's just like, I'm sure, Dad. Like, you know, that's exactly what I expected you to say. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
You know, and he's like, I don't care if they get paid. Sure.
You don't care if they get paid?
Yeah, he's like, I don't care if they get paid. It's the constant transferring. I'm like, they were transferring before like the getting paid thing. So you're only mad now.
What's it matter though? I mean, I guess like if it's good for Major League Baseball, if you celebrate your, somebody coming to your team.
I mean, I just think
baseball or football, you know what I'm saying? This should be okay.
I just think Americans have unrealistic like ideas of like you commit to this school and it's like you'll bleed those colors your whole life. It's like, okay, maybe that's how it used to be. It's not that way anymore. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, again, the dudes who do stay 4 years, those things will be special. You know, those things will matter because that's someone who really cared about your school, not someone who was, you know, committed to indentured servitude and didn't want to change because it would have cost them a year of eligibility and all these things. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, but you know,
that's like the truth, bro.
Yeah, amateurism in college football and sports is bullshit. It's just the entire concept of amateurism was fucking invented. People treat it like it's this sacred thing. It was invented in the 1900s by the NCAA, which isn't even a government body. So fuck all of this. Pay these kids whatever the hell they can get.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, make Elon Musk fucking fund college football.
That would be crazy. Hey, when was the last time you been to the movie theater?
I took my nephew to see a movie, and I'm trying to remember what it was. You know, I took my nephew, my niece, my son, my wife to see Sonic 3.
Sonic 3. Okay,
that's took everyone to see. Yeah, I took everyone to see Sonic 3. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks.
How was that one?
I enjoyed it. I mean, you know, the thing is my brain is broken at this point because I have a 3-year-old. So I only take in 3-year-old media. So I'm like, that's hilarious. But honestly, as far as kids movies go, it was pretty good. Keanu Reeves was in it. So, you know, that's always good. But I mean, it's getting empty when I go to the theaters now, man.
That was my next question. Was it empty? Okay.
It was like half full, but you know, I mean, it was a holiday season. A lot of people go to movies, but like, man, when I go now, it's getting empty. I don't know. Like, what about you? You're in a more populated area. What do you see?
Okay, because I have toddlers, man. I go to the drive-in.
Okay.
Go to the drive-in a lot. But even at that drive-in, man, it's not. I mean, I think the last movie that I couldn't get into a drive-in immediately was Bad Boys, like the one that just came out over the summer.
Yeah,
the latest Bad Boys movie with Martin Lawrence and that was the only one. That was the only time I couldn't get into the drive-in. But prior to that, like actually going into a movie theater, dude, I couldn't tell you. It's been a while, you know what I'm saying? Like because after COVID, kind of messed everything up, and I think brings us to this question right here: are movie theaters a dead concept now?
I think as they currently exist, yeah. I don't think that it's going to be possible for the way these things I don't think the way that like the structure operates right now is going to exist long term. When you hear that question though, what's your first thought? Like, does it ring true to you, or do you think now we're just in a lull?
I think about COVID because like before I used to all those Marvel movies coming back, you know, said I was always at a movie theater, checking all the Marvel movies, and it was always a packed house. And then sometimes like, you know, on my days off, I would just go if I didn't have my son, I just go to movies. You know what I mean? And you even during the matinees, you still have people there. You know what I mean? But now it's like it's like a ghost town. I can sit anywhere I want to, you know what I'm saying? Even if I do a pre-order, I can sit anywhere I want to, and it's crazy. But I blame COVID. A lot of people don't trust, so aren't willing to get out there. But then the streaming services hit. Streaming services made it possible for you to not even go. You know what I'm saying? So
COVID changed everything for movies.
COVID changed everything. Like
it also changed the way people fucking behave.
Theater before then, COVID knocked it out.
Yeah,
it's on its last leg.
And COVID changed the way people behave in movie theaters too, man. I swear to God, because I've never heard people talk as much as they fucking talk. Now everybody's just
being at home.
Yeah, they're just talking. And the thing is, like, I don't care if you whisper a couple of times, we all whatever, but like just actual talking. Like I went and saw in December. I went with a friend to see a screening. I do love movies, so I go to movies more than the average person. I will admit that. And I went to see, they re-released Interstellar for the 10-year anniversary, and they re-released it in 70 millimeter, which I had never seen it in. So I went to see it on an IMAX, and that was completely full. But that's like a special showing of a 10-year-old movie, and you've got like dying people showing up. It's a very specific situation. And some dumbass in the row in front of me is scrolling on his phone. So I said out loud, "Hey, bro, that cell phone is really distracting." And he put it away. And I'm that dude. I'm the I will tell you. I'm the theater grandpa. I'm like, we will be quiet. But I notice for sure that it's dying. It's getting easier to see first run movies the day they come out. I don't want to do that, but if you want to, you can. Exactly. Yeah, it used to be so difficult. Now only the most popular movies are sold out. Like everything is getting to the point where, like you said, you can roll up and get tickets. Like it used to be, man, I need to make my plans and everything. And I just think, like you said, streaming services have changed people's concept of how they want to spend their time somewhat. I think that the prevalence of gigantic big screen TVs and home theater systems, you reach a point where it's almost the same, and you have all the comfort and convenience of home. And I think that for rich people, especially, they don't want to go to movies anymore because they have that shit on lock anyway. And I think, like everything else, inflation has gotten so ridiculous. It's like $100 to like if you take your family to the movie and get like popcorns and soda, it's like $100. It's like it's absurd. And so the inflation, I know that movie theaters have always made money on their concessions or whatever, but it's gotten ridiculous. And something's gonna give, right? Like I know that everyone has to pay for inflation because we don't have a choice, but eventually we've reached the point where everything is so much more expensive. Billionaires are flaunting it in our face. Like something bad is going to happen. Now, something good happened. Luigi Mangione shot a healthcare CEO, but that's an example of the kind of thing that's going to occur, because every single thing that you and I would consider basic, going to a movie theater is basic entertainment. That is not, it's not like going to a show on Broadway, right? That's not, but it's now cost so much money. It's like going to an NBA game. I paid $20 a ticket, and then, God forbid I want a beer from the bar, $17.
Yes,
it's ridiculous. And I don't mean to sound like an old man, but it's literally, that's where we are. We're at a point where everyone sounds old because they're like, "Can you believe the price of this?"
It's getting crazy.
Yeah, everything's
even like to go enjoy a movie and not break the bank.
How much would you pay monthly to have every single new movie streamed to your home?
Man, shit. Like new movie that's coming to like into the theaters that should be in the theaters.
The day it comes to theaters, every single movie that comes out comes to your home, but you have access to it for, let's say, 2 weeks. And again, it's every movie. You can't choose, so you're paying a lump sum. I'm just curious.
Yeah, man, probably like $15 a month.
See, I would pay way more than that. So I would pay like $200 a month, which I think is more, something, that's what it would cost. That's what it would cost. And I think I would pay. Well, that's how badly I don't want to be around people. Like I have AMC Stubs, which allows me to go to several movies a month for like $22. So I use that to basically go see movies at 10 p.m. when my kid is asleep and no one is around and I can be by myself, all these things. But the thing is, that's way easier now, because there are so many showings that are just empty. Yeah. I just think they're dying. Here's the question, though. Let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. Movies aren't going away. Home streaming obviously is not going away. Mm-hmm. What replaces movie theaters? Because there's going to be a public movie venue. There's going to be something. The whole food movie theater thing hasn't really worked. And I have an answer for you, but I'm curious if you have any thoughts on that. Like, what replaces movie theaters?
Man, that's interesting. The only other and that pops in my head, and I'll be honest, because I saw this earlier. I saw this where someone rented a tent in their backyard, and I know people rent their pools from time to time. But if someone has like a home theater with a nice setup, doing like an Airbnb and renting out their home theater,
I can see that.
You have the convenience of home, you have the comfortability of instead of being in your living room,
like
your crib, so you're somewhere else new. Watch any, I guess, probably in a better environment because people have a bigger TV, have a better sound system than you. You get in there
like Airbnb for movies.
Right, exactly. So like an Airbnb for a movie.
I think that the most likely outcome is that a marijuana dispensary is going to obtain a public use license and purchase a movie theater. And they're going to build a place where you can smoke weed, vape, and take edibles while watching movies on the big screen. And I believe that will be a successful business model.
Exists, and it's called a parking lot.
But imagine endorsable. Now, granted, of course, you're going to need to put it next to a train because no one's legally going to be allowed to drive home. But hey, we want walkable cities anyway. This lends itself to that concept. This is something for a place like Seattle. I just think if you put movies, edibles, and the munchies with like a really nice, you got nachos ready to go, things like that. Good nachos, none of this garbage movie nachos. I'm talking about real nachos. I think someone can make money doing that correctly. And I think that niche movie theaters are going to become that sort of thing, whether it's like an Airbnb thing where I buy a large house and rent it out as a giant movie theater, or the thing I'm talking about. I think that it's going to become a niche thing because they barely make it. Like every month, AMC keeps losing money. Their earnings reports are worse and worse, and they can like barely make their payments. The most valuable thing about the company at this point is like their land holdings, and they don't even own a lot of their locations. A lot of them are rentals. So it's like, it's not like they have that much land holdings. It's just, it's a bad situation. And I don't know. I mean, it may be one of those things that it becomes a loss leader for movie studios where, Trump floated, because it's illegal for movie studios to own movie theater chains. But I could see, for example, Trump tossing out that law, and then Disney builds a bunch of Marvel movie theaters that play Marvel movies all the time and don't play other new movies. They only play Disney movies. I could see that becoming another scenario. So the point is, whatever billionaire asshole thinks he can squeeze out $1 out of movie theaters by destroying them will do so. And they're doing that now by cranking up the prices. So whenever you want to know, whenever says, why did this good thing that we love got destroyed? It was because a rich guy bought it every single time.
That's the truth, man. That's the truth. That's good stuff.
Truth.
And I had a point that but it slipped my mind.
And then the doc rambled on too long. That's my greatest flaw. I'm gonna have to learn. This is a 2-person show. You got to let people talk. Doc,
I really did. I lost it, man. I was smoking earlier, so that's.
It's all that weed. It's all that weed I'm smoking. Made you forget your idea.
Oh no! It was too. Okay, I'm remembering some of it now. It was to a point to where I guess what your point was. Someone with the be able to smoke and have the edibles and all that good stuff like that. What was I gonna say? Damn it, I lost it again. No, they passed the law like that. The cannabis cafes are gonna happen here. And
there you go.
Yeah. So that's gonna be, so that's pretty much like if that opens that avenue for what you're talking about, like later on down the line, like further down, but that opens up that avenue right there because once that happens, people can sell food and and then of course some venues are like, hey, let's throw a movie on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it'll be a movie night type deal.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, dude. That's exactly kind of in the vein of what you were talking about too, about people like throwing up a screen. And you know, truth be told, I actually know a dispensary here in Arizona that did that. They did like a movie day. The thing is, public consumption is not legal here, so it was like, but people showed up. It was crazy. I guess they all just like probably just did edibles and vaped in their car.
Like, funny story, right? And it happens to be like the coolest place I ever smoked weed ever in my life.
Ooh, that's a good question. Yes, that's the kind of conversation we should have. Continue. Sorry.
Okay, so I mean, I will reveal that answer here shortly. With the 40th anniversary of Purple Rain was whatever, and like we were looking for tickets. When I say we, my wife and I were looking for tickets. Well, going through like Groupon, whatever, we found these tickets for a screening of the Purple Rain. Like now, in my head, I was thinking like we were going to some type of venue, and someone was going to like a cover, like a Prince cover band. They were doing all the songs from the movie Purple Rain. But it was actually we watched the movie. And we watched the movie on the Rose Bowl at the 40-yard line. And I don't know if I know they sold alcohol there, but I don't know if they allowed anyone to smoke weed, but we did. So 40-yard line of the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, I love that.
The coolest place I've ever smoked weed ever in my life.
That I don't think I could beat that at all. The coolest place I ever smoked weed, there's two places I can think of. Number one was a ledge overlooking the city of Budapest. I was with two friends when I was teaching in Europe, and I spilled a ton of weed on the ground, and we had to pick it up by cell phone light. And this is before cell phone had good cameras. So someone the next day went there and found a bunch of fucking weed. And I hope they enjoyed smoking it because that was good shit. But we were on just this ledge that overlooks the city because, you know, this is an area where the buildings have been there for 500 years. So everything's sort of built into mountains and shit. And it was pretty incredible to smoke a joint, like standing over that. And then the other would be in Košice, Slovakia, where this is less. Košice also 500 years old, but not as big as Budapest. You know, Budapest is a capital and all these things. But it's very funny because same friend, we'd hung out up there. And the thing is, we'd go to the one McDonald's in town and then go up in the mountains and smoke weed and look at, like, you know, the 500-year-old buildings and eat McDonald's cheeseburgers, which I just think is the funniest damn thing. But man, you want to know something? When you drive through Slovakia, you learn what the word village means. There's a difference from a little culture shock over there in Europe. We'll talk sometime. We'll do an episode and talk about culture shock stuff because I think you and I both have some stories.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely have some.
And I'd love to hear them. So listen. I think probably storytelling should be a big part of this because I think you and me both have some
We definitely gonna have to tell some stories. Yeah. Hey, what's up with the BCC?
Ooh.
You named that, boy. You know what I'm saying? BCC.
I think it makes sense.
BCC. Not what you think, and get your mind out of the gut. Get your mind out of the gut. All of you.
Yo, that's funny as shit. That's fucking funny. You goddamn son, you are hilarious. Oh, the Black Coach Carousel.
Yeah, the Black Coach Carousel. Let's talk about the Black Coach Carousel.
Listen, as a white guy, I think it's ridiculous. Like, how does it make you feel to like see this like over and over? And we all point it out and we all know it. Like, I'm not trying to ask you to explain to me as a black man in society. I know how difficult this is. I'm just saying, like, doesn't this shit annoy the shit out of you, or are you just numb to it?
It does. It's crazy to me that you know, you get these black coaches they just get like a little chance. Like, if you fuck up one time, you done. We have one bad season, it's a wrap. And it don't matter who you are. You know what I'm saying? So like they did what's his name?
Antonio Pierce.
Yep. Pierce.
Yeah, Antonio Pierce. Yeah, fired today.
Pierce. I couldn't think of his first name. Sorry about that, AP. But the way they did him was dirty because like they literally said yesterday they had no plans to move parting ways with him. Yeah. And 24 hours later, he's gone. Like, are you kidding me?
That's my boy Tom Brady. How's
that even happen?
Yeah, and that's Tom Brady too, man. That one's hard for me because you are 100% right. Like, that's fucked up.
how you gonna tell this man he has a job and then the next day you gonna fire him? That's fucking crazy.
Antonio Pierce, Gerard Mayo. I know he's not a coach, but Rand Carthon, the GM of the Tennessee Titans. I know he's not a coach, but he basically was told, hey, you got to help us rebuild this tanking team. And then he got them the number 1 overall pick. And they're like, thanks, you're fired. We're going to find someone else to make that pick. It's like, yo, you told him to get you the number 1 pick. He did. What are you expecting? Were they expecting to win this year with that roster? Like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like, they signed off on all, and the coach stays somehow. Like, Gerard Mayo in New England, man. When they hired Gerard Mayo, fucking Bob Kraft went on this goddamn speech about how he handpicked Gerard Mayo years ago, and he knew that Gerard Mayo was the right guy to lead the Patriots in the post-Belichick era, and blah, 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 white guy bullshit. And it's embarrassing to me, dude. Like, do you know what it's like as a white? And I like, this is a stupid comment to make, but it's like, do you have any idea? I'm like a white guy. I'm like every single day. I'm like, I'm so sorry. We're all terrible. I know. I swear. I'm so sorry. I just like want to tell everyone that I run into. I'm like, someone says, hey, I'm like, hey, I'm not one of the bad white guys. I swear. I hate Trump. I hate the firing of black coaches. I didn't vote for the Republican Senate or Congress. How are you feeling? Like, I just want to tell. I'm like, I think women should have rights. Like, because it's all people who look exactly fucking like me, a fat white dude with a beard that are the worst. And I just want to tell everyone, like, I'm not like this. I swear to God. I'm one of the few good ones.
I'm gonna get you a shade that says I'm one of the good ones.
Yeah, there we go.
I've been told, you're one of the good ones. What the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah, that
I'll slap the shit out of you or what? Like, no, because I know you're gonna call the police and I'm gonna go to jail and they're gonna slap me with so many charges. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know if I'm slap you, but I'm gonna get the emotional damage from this person. They're gonna charge me for all that shit tonight. No. Let me walk away.
Hey, that shit is real, man.
It's real. It's tough, man. It really is. But it sucks, man. It even carries over into other leagues too. You talked about the Kings,
Mike
Brown, and this is the best season they had in a while.
Yeah, and they're just it's like, oh, they had a few bad games, gotta fire the coach. We had 2 of the best, most competitive years we've had since literally 2002. But whatever, who cares? The thing I said to you when we were talking about earlier, Dan Campbell started 3-13-1 in his first season with the Lions. In their second season, they were like 1-6 or 1-7 before they turned it around and won a bunch of games down the stretch. Any black coach would have been fired. If you start 3-13 and then went 1-6, you're fucking fired.
What's the guy? Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
With Dallas. The fans have been calling for him to be fired for years now, right? Jerry Jones won't do it. What's crazy is like he won't get fired. He's probably gonna take this Bears job he's gonna exit stage left before they fire.
Yeah.
So he won't have that. He won't have that stain on his resume.
The Giants. Yeah. The Giants keeping Brian Daboll.
That's crazy. Like, come on. Why?
Like Malik Neighbors mid-season is like, I don't know. Ask Brian Daboll why they're not throwing me the ball. Like your star receiver is like pointing out that the coach is a moron, and it's just what happened. Brian Flores, who was doing good with the Dolphins, they fired him because they wanted to whatever, and now like he can't even sniff a head coaching job, despite the fact that the Vikings defense has been one of the best defenses in the league in the last 2 years. Like, it's just. And the thing is, like, dude, another thing that pisses me the fuck off is that teams keep interviewing David Shaw. David Shaw was like, he coached like Stanford for 12 years. He hasn't coached, he hasn't coached in a couple of years, but they fucking interview him. It's a Rooney Rule candidate. It's like, he's never coached at the NFL level. He's like never been a coordinator. But like, they're like, yeah, this is the guy that we think we could. And then like, he never even makes it to a second round. And it's like, it's because you're fucking using him as a Rooney Rule candidate. And it's just shit like that it's so infuriating because like the NFL wants to be taken seriously. They want us to take them seriously. And all I see is the continuation of the good old boys club. Like that's all we have. Like there's no like Woody Johnson, the Jets owner, is going to be like an ambassador in the Trump administration again. Like how connected are we? Like I can't stand watching like outward fucking racism. And again, I know for a white person to go on a rant about this is whatever, but it drives me crazy because again, it makes other people say, hey, I don't want anything to do with the NFL. And it makes the league look terrible.
Right. I agree with you. I agree. That's crazy.
It's just a broken damn system.
It's a broken damn system, like you said, man. And I don't know. It's at one point I had hope that it would be fixed, but now the people who've been doing the oppressing for X amount of times want to be the somehow the oppressed because other people are calling them out on their bullshit. And people, we see it. And when you see something, you say something, right? So you call these people out on their shit. Now they want to be, it's oh wait a minute, now I'm the victim. No, you're not the victim, dude. You just, you know how the victim felt, maybe, but don't worry. It sucks.
And this is why, to me, it's so important that LeBron gets control of a franchise when he retires.
Oh, yeah.
Because I believe that LeBron will be everything that Michael Jordan wasn't in terms of a player advocate as, the leader of a franchise. And I think that, LeBron has made it really clear he wants to be in charge of a team in Las Vegas. And I think 100% that should happen. And I think that LeBron as, whatever word you want to use, managing partner of a team, I think would be one thing in sports that could actually start to trend the league away from just the absolute ridiculous racism. And I know that's NBA, but the NBA has the exact same problem as the NFL in terms of black coaches getting no leeway. So I think that the more former players, and specifically the more former players of color who are in ownership roles of teams, it's going to be better for the players. I don't think that there's any way that we could argue that. And I know, again, people love to point out Michael Jordan. It's like, dude, Michael Jordan was a fucking ridiculous gambler and the worst personnel executive ever who purchased a team and was horrible at running the team. Yeah, he was never it's true. Michael was never on the side of the players, but, gambling doesn't let you be on the side of anyone but you bet on. So that's just who that dude is. Yeah, LeBron will help people, though. LeBron's a genuine good person.
He's been helping people, yeah.
Yeah, his school,
his team, his team.
Yeah,
his team is filled with people who grew up with it. That's who you want to keep around you, man. You keep around your people.
He has put so many.
Put a lot of people on.
Yeah, Rich Paul, is now the most powerful agent in the NBA.
Crazy,
and that's awesome, and it's all because of LeBron. That you gotta love that. I think LeBron's an amazing human. Does it ever annoy you? How good he is at so many fucking things. Sometimes I get annoyed. I'm like, can you let he was hilarious in that movie Trainwreck. I'm like, can you just let us have funny? Maybe can us regular people have one thing, LeBron? You have to do everything perfectly.
Honestly, I haven't seen Trainwreck. The only thing I watched him act in was Space Jam. Space Jam 2.
See, I haven't seen that because everyone told me it would make me hate LeBron because it was the worst thing ever. So I've never. At some point, my son will want to watch it.
People who hate LeBron, man.
Oh, okay,
I
trust that.
What can you hate? People they don't like his on the court antics, but you go out and you call him, you're saying all this other stuff about him off the court. It's crazy to me, So if he flops, so what? But so does majority of motherfucking people in the fucking league. A lot of people flop in the league. When Dirk was flopping, no one said anything. When this other person was flopping, no one said anything. But LeBron, if he flops, he does it all the time. Whatever, man. It's crazy.
It is. He is a magnet for hatred, and it's annoying.
Yeah, he is. It's crazy. And the dude hasn't done anything. You haven't heard a parking ticket about this dude.
Yeah. And that's the thing is he's a genuinely good person, and that's so rare. Although the one thing I will say, what I appreciate is, how whenever you point out that Russell Westbrook is inefficient, someone posts a picture of him with his children and they go, this is the man you're hating on right now. It's I'm not hating on him as a dad, dude. I'm hating on him as a fucking inefficient scorer. I don't feel like people do that with LeBron. So I appreciate that at least. you know. But yeah, dude, the hating is, you know, our haters gonna hate. It is what it is. Taylor Swift taught us that. I'm just kidding.
All right, man. Oh man, we got a few more minutes left. Let's do this top 10 real quick.
Hit me with it.
So the top 10, we're gonna do top 10 breakfast cereals.
Oh shit.
All time. You know what I'm saying? So how this top 10 is gonna work, right? Is that Pete's gonna give me the number 10. I give you number 9. We go all the way up to number 1. Pete, what is the number 10 breakfast cereal?
The number 10 breakfast cereal. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to say Life cereal. I feel that Life cereal is 10. I feel it's a top 10 cereal. I'm going with it.
Life.
Yeah. Life. Yeah. I think I like a cereal that stays fairly crunchy. Yeah, you know, there's not too much flavor, so you're not gonna give it a top 5. I'm going with Life cereal.
Life cereal. Man. For me, it's gotta be. I gotta have my Pops, dude.
Pops. Yep.
Pop cereal with mom. I didn't understand like why it had to come in that foil bag, but I thought it was fantastic.
You know, that's Pops is. I'm gonna give you that one. Yeah. All right, so we're on number 8 now, right? What is the 8th? Man. All right. So I think number 8 would have to be like, ooh, boy. See, this is the thing, is I don't want to give anything too low.
Right.
You can't come back to it later. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I know what I think my number 1 is. I know what I think like my number 2 is. You can't overshoot it. I think like Trix is number 8. You know,
that's actually really good.
Because Trix is like, you know, it's like you're never disappointed when you see Trix. First and foremost,
it's for kids.
It is for kids. It's for kids. Yeah. So that's number 1. So yeah. Unless you're Job from Arrested Development, then Tricks are what a whore does for money. But when you're never disappointed seeing Trix, you're never like, oh, that's the worst cereal I've ever seen. You know, it's fruity enough that you get different flavors in there. Trix is like when you're at a hotel and you're like hungover and you don't want fucking shredded wheat and they have Trix, you're like, yes. You know what I'm saying? Like in those little boxes, you know? So it's like, I need some Frosted Flakes or some Trix. They got Trix. All right, I'm good. I'm hungover. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to make it to this meeting.
Yeah. Number 7 is that other cereal you named. Frosted Flakes.
Yep.
Frosted Flakes. They are great, but definitely, you know, saying one of the cereals, if you have other options, you definitely want to, you steer the other option first. Unless it's Trix. Of course.
Frosted Flakes is like one of those things. It's like, oh man, that might be the one cereal grandma has that I want to eat, you know, because like they have bran flakes and regular corn flakes, and you're like, no. I require Frosted Flakes. You take my flakes and you dip them in high fructose corn syrup. Damn it.
Yeah, my grandma would be like, you just get that sugar from the pantry. Like, how much do I put in here? Enough. Half the bag? Okay.
All right. Okay, here we go. I'm going to hit you with number 6. This is going to be something that's regionally specific that I can't even tell you the origin of, just because my grandmother used to always have it when I was a kid, and that is Boo Berry, which was like a blueberry cereal, but instead of the word blue, it was boo, and there was a ghost on it.
Like like Count Chocula, like Frankenberry along that.
Yeah, and it was probably like a ripoff from like Kroger or some shit. But I as a nostalgia play, which I think this really is, I was all about that Boo Berry. I was like, when we got to Indiana and I saw my grandmother, I was like, I know you got that Boo Berry, which is probably something I said to a weed dealer when I got older. You know, like that's probably, you got that Boo Berry. Fire, you know. I keep forgetting people are gonna see me doing my hands like a dumbass on this show, so I really gotta get my shit together here. But we're going with Boo Berry at number 6. We're taking it old school Midwestern cereal.
I'm gonna fuck up the game right now.
Okay, I'm ready.
I might lose you.
Okay, I'm ready.
Number 5 for me, Honey Smacks.
Ooh, okay.
Even though they did look like little roaches swimming around in milk.
Ooh,
they were pretty good.
See, now that's interesting because I would think you might say Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but
Ooh.
Honey Smacks.
We're getting close there. We're getting close to that area.
Okay. I can.
You fuck with Honey Smacks or no?
I fuck. Yeah. No. That's no. I'm with that. That's that. But it's like it's a curveball. It's not what I expect. You were right. I like it though. See, we're building a really nice cereal bar here that's got a real mix of stuff. Nobody's gonna come to this cereal bar and say there's nothing for me, because there's something for everybody. At the Blueberry Honey Smacks cereal bar.
We got Blueberry, my boy.
Yeah, we're reaching. That's what I'm saying. You can't even find Blueberry. You don't even know where it's from. Blueberry. We got it right here.
We got it right here.
Number 4, huh?
Number 4. Go ahead.
Number 4. I mean, I think that has to be Captain Crunch Crunch Berries, because Crunch Berries were the bomb and Captain Crunch is the bomb, and putting them together was just like, I probably ate more Crunch Berries than I don't even know what. That's one of my top ones. But that's only because I couldn't have the number 1 cereal on my list. But Crunch Berries was one of the ones my mother would let me have, and I ate a lot of it.
You know what? As an adult, Captain Crunch. I mean, as a child, I loved Captain Crunch. Like, you know what I'm saying? We didn't get it that often because, like, the only option we had was King Vitamin. And if you know, you know. But as an adult, the Crunch, I got the Captain Crunch, and I got the ones with the Crunch Berries, just the Crunch Berries.
Just Crunch Berries. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just Crunch Berries. Just Crunch Berries is one of those things you go to Walmart at for 1 a.m. when you're stoned as fuck, and you're like, no. I have to have the right one. It cannot be old. I need a fresh bag. I'm ripping open right now. Also, can we stop at Taco Bell on the way home? To
get a
Baja
Blast.
Yo,
things like
Baja Blast is life, baby. All right, number 3. We're in the top 3 now. This is we're in the CFP playoff. Here we go.
Oh, number 3. Okay, that's me. Oh man. Whew, man. Jeez. Okay.
It's hard to beat Crunch Berries. I know.
It's hard to beat Crunch Berries, man. But I'm gonna do it. I think I can do it. I don't know if it was spelled like this on the box.
I'm excited. I'm ready.
But
my body is ready. Fruit Loops. Wow. Damn. All right.
Fruit Loops. I gotta put Fruit Loops in the mix, man.
We're getting Fruit Loops a high slot. Number 3. Damn. Well, hey, it's a classic.
What would you put? What would you?
I wouldn't put it above Crunch Berries, but that's the order that we slotted in here. Okay. So Fruit Loops gets the generational bump. Fruit Loops is like when Steph Curry gets voted into the All-Star game, or LeBron gets voted into the All-Star game when they sit 20 games. It's like, look, I understand. I understand, young blood, you've been doing good, but Fruit Loops been here. It's Fruit Loops. I don't even think you can argue with it. It's Fruit Loops, baby. Like, how many people's nicknames is Fruit Loops? Probably like 1 million. It's All right. Are we ready? Number 2. Now, this would be my number 1 cereal. But since I have the number 2 vote and you have the number 1 vote, I'm gonna put this in at number 2. But I'm gonna just let the world know I'm using this slot to tell you that this cereal is the bomb. And that is Rice Krispie Treat cereal, not Rice Krispies.
Wow.
Rice Krispie Treat cereal.
Listen, man.
Wow. I was barely ever allowed to have it. But let's talk about a cereal that was literally just fucking dessert chopped up that you were supposed to eat with milk for some reason. Rice Krispie Treat cereal is the literal
curveball, man.
Hey, that's like going to kids and being like, would you like your version of crack? Because this is your version of crack. I mean, that level of sugar for children is ridiculous. And I stand by it 100%. Rice Krispie Treat cereal. I would have put it number 1 if I could. So that's me.
Hey, man.
Ben Simmons was number 2 overall too. Sometimes crazy stuff happens.
All right. So I guess I have to be kind of biased here.
Maybe Simmons was number 1. I've actually
done some data. I've asked some questions. The number 1 cereal, Fruity Pebbles.
Woo!
I'm gonna say this now because my wife has to go to Sam's Club or Costco and buy the big box that has the 2. Because and then take one out and pour it into a container and then hide the second bag because I will finish that entire container in 3 days and then go looking for the next bag.
So tell me the truth.
It's supposed to be the kids cereal, but I love Fruity Pebbles.
Tell me the truth. How many times have you put Fruity Pebbles, Fruit Loops, and Crunch Berries into one bowl?
Never, but I'm going to do it. That's going to happen this weekend.
I just saw a light bulb go off over your head. That
sounds like a fun time this weekend. I might have to go find some of those Rice Krispies treats because I've never had those either.
Dude, I've seen them.
I know they exist. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's the most ridiculous thing. It's so unhealthy. It's like, this is not something that should be given to children. And I was like, yes, give me more. There's a reason I'm fat, because I fucking love terrible food. I'm on a weight loss journey now. So this is going to be a fun part about this podcast, is seeing if I actually lose weight or if I continue to be a fat ass as we do this. That'll be it. I'll either slim down and people will be like, hey, that guy's looking pretty good. Or they'll be like, that guy goes to Taco Bell a lot. So it'll be interesting to see which one, over time.
Right on, man. Oh, man, it was a fun time, dude. I'm looking forward to doing more of these shows with you, man.
Absolutely.
And, the future for this show is going to be great.
Tuesdays at 6 Pacific. 7 Arizona time. Don't listen to that one. 6 Pacific.
Yeah. 6 Pacific.
I think Ben Simmons was number 1 overall, wasn't he? Was Ben Simmons number 2? Yeah, I messed that joke up. So that was, he plays like number 2, but he was drafted number 1. Ben Simmons.
There you go. Yeah. 7. How many time is it over? 6. You guys do that weird thing. Is it 6 o'clock over there?
Don't listen to Arizona time. Yeah. 6 o'clock Pacific.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock Pacific on Tuesdays.
Mountain time, 8 Central, 9, whatever. Check us out here on the Elite Sports Network. Thank you for watching. For the Blunt Doctor, I'm King Hooley. This is the King and Doc podcast. Peace out.
Peace.
I'm not gonna play the outro.